Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Look, in today's video, I got a super fun one for you guys. I'm getting a lot of questions on this Rio Rancho series that we got going on, and some really good ones, by the way. And the one that just keeps kind of like popping into my head, or just is like, maybe we should talk about that, is, Eli, Rio Rancho's great. You're highlighting the neighborhoods very well, talking about what the different things have, or the different neighborhoods have to offer their Rio Rancho. But really, why should anybody move there? And lucky enough for you, in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the top 5 best things about Rio Rancho and living there. So if you are thinking about moving to Rio Rancho, whether it's the next 30, 60, or 90 days, again, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And I love to hop on a quick Zoom call with you because I am a licensed broker here in the state of New Mexico. I love to make sure that transition down to Albuquerque or Rio Rancho, whatever city here in New Mexico you're looking to move to, I'd like to make sure that we can really hammer down on the details, make sure that transition is nice and easy and smooth for you guys. So feel free to reach out. We love to help, but enough from me, guys. Let's get right into the video. Originally when I was going to do this video, I had the thought myself, why would anybody want to move to Rio Rancho? And it's simple. It's plain to see. The balance in lifestyle up there, believe it or not, Rio Rancho is kind of ranchy, with a ton of open space still kind of left to be acquired. A lot of people are buying bigger lots and, putting horses, animals, and stuff out there, even though the majority is desert-ish. It starts to become a little bit more green the closer you get to the river down by Bernalillo, which brings up another good point, is that balance in lifestyle, with Bernalillo being close there and the Pueblo kind of being in between Bernalillo and Rio Rancho. You have the 2 casinos along with some breweries there in Bernalillo. And then Bernalillo from time to time has rodeos going on. I know that my parents last week went to a rodeo over there with my sister and my brother-in-law, and I never knew that they had those there. And it was a pretty big event. I mean, packed house. I mean, bull riding, little kids were riding the sheeps, bronco bucking, all that stuff was happening down there. So, I mean, you get best of both worlds. You get the tranquility of living, kind of secluded up in the deserted areas of, southern Mariposa Park, Mountain Hawk Estates up there in that newer subdivision. And then you also are about an hour away from Hemet Springs, which has hiking trails, fishing. You can camp there, and they also have the hot springs. So I don't know, Rio Rancho may seem like the next move for anybody that wants the best of both worlds from city living, because you are 20 to 30 minutes away from Albuquerque, so anything in Albuquerque you can still enjoy. And then you can also head up to places like Hemet Springs, or you can go to either one of the 2 resorts at the casinos or to a local brewery and enjoy a good night out. All right, now, once you're done getting western and getting all crazy down at the rodeos down there in Bernalillo, the convenience in Rio Rancho is a huge reason why people are moving over there, because, like I said, it's still conveniently pretty close to Albuquerque and all these different amenities. And plus, they have 2 major hospitals that are conveniently placed in the 2 major neighborhoods. One is placed in Camazon, and the other one's placed closer to the Loma Colorado Mountain Hawk Estates area, one being Rust and one being UNM. I can surely assure you that if in times of need, or like an emergency after you're done getting western, of course, you will be able to get to the emergency room pretty quick. Now, if you got appointments and all that kinds of stuff for specialists, I'm sure the majority of the time they're either going to be there. Sometimes you may find yourself traveling to Albuquerque for that reason, but it's not going to be a terrible drive. Hop down 550 or Coors and to the freeway, and you're just going to be in, Albuquerque or in Santa Fe. If you do want to go out there, have some good eats, some good higher end shopping, you are going to find yourself being conveniently placed there in Rio Rancho. Now, I'm not saying that Rio Rancho is just a bunch of crazy people, ranchers, doing that whole thing. Rio Rancho is actually pretty family friendly, and with all the different amenities that they have to offer to the families in the neighborhoods, you're talking about aquatic centers, high-end gyms, hockey arenas, walking trails. even big parks that are family friendly and equipped to be able to, and for every kid of every age and every group to enjoy, which is going to be a park above. Then you got Cabazon Park, and then you also have the Rio Rancho High School that has the Loma Colorado district connected right to it. And according to review.com, Rio Rancho High School ranks 10 out of 10 and the top percent in all of New Mexico's public schools, which I can tell why, because they have the aquatic center that's right next to it, Loma Colorado, the newest library that has just an amazing view, and they also have the McDermott Athletic Center that has a hockey rink area, state-of-the-art gym. All that stuff is going to be just pretty much a hop, skip, and a jump in these neighborhoods, and majority of these newer neighborhoods are offering this. There is an older part of Rio Rancho that is going to be just on the outskirts of that, but it's still going to be fairly close and pretty, reasonably, and it's still going to be pretty close and going to be, within reason to be able to walk or ride a bike there. So if you're worried about being around a bunch of crazy people in Rio Rancho, it's not going to get Western like that. All right, now with Rio Rancho being so family focused and offering a ton of opportunities and amenities to people, with the influx that they're seeing, they are, experiencing some affordable living costs. So that's why more people are living over there. And let's talk about that. What does it cost to live over there? Right now, the average home price is looking around 328. Now I can see it going up in the future very fast just because of how popular Rio Rancho is becoming. But aside from that, it's about 9% lower than the national average, and even around that same figure of 9% lower than a place like Dallas, Texas. So if you are moving from Texas, you can experience that some of your things are going to be similar, but a little bit cheaper as far as cost of living, from groceries to utilities to all that stuff, right? So you may actually be saving some money if you move down here and you have a remote job, which is what we're starting to see a whole lot of. And then we're also starting to see more people move down here to work for Intel, and because they are in the National Guard, they do have the armory over there. So a lot more people who are either in the Army or working for Intel are moving to Rio Rancho to fulfill the thriving job market that they are experiencing through those two avenues. Now, locally, the businesses there thrive. So if you are a local business, you can expect that the community is going to support you 100%, and you're going to see a lot more of regular people up there just because there's not a whole lot going on. So those few spots that do open up there are very lucky and very fortunate, and they actually succeed because of that. So if you are thinking about moving to Rio Rancho, whether it's for work or you're just looking to move over there, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to reach out. Let's hop on a quick Zoom call. Really formulate a plan on what the next steps are to get you down here, because whether you are working for Intel or you're working for the National Guard, or you are going into the Army and this is a great fit for you guys, you kind of just want a change in scenery, we are going to want to talk about all those things, right? Because not every part of Rio Rancho is created equal, but some places are just going to be that typical suburb, white picket fence living. There's no white picket fences up there, but you can kind of get the picture of what I'm trying to paint there. So feel free to reach out. Let's connect. Rio Rancho has an immense amount of beauty. When you're talking Rio Rancho, you're talking awesome views of the Sandias, beautiful sceneries of desert ranges, and then, like I told you before, an hour away is Jemez Pueblo and Jemez Springs, which is just a mountain valley that has beautiful creeks, rivers, and they also have Ayes Caldera, which is a volcanic area that has lush green pastures. I mean, it's beautiful. You're going to have to check it out for yourself. I can tell you all this great stuff, but again, like I said, that number popping up on the screen, guys, is my direct line. Feel free to reach out. Let's get on a quick call and make sure that transition is a lot smoother. And also, guys, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys are never missing out on any videos, because I am dropping videos every Tuesday and Thursday talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque and Rio Rancho and Las Lunas and all these other great cities have to offer here in New Mexico. So that's something you guys are interested in. I'd love to stay in touch with you guys. Yeah, guys, another fun one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray.